there, welcome back to Japan and to the NIZIU reaction and review, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. As always, this is the review video. If you want to see the reaction that I just did down by the river, pause this video, click the little link in the description below and it'll open up a separate little YouTube player where you can watch the reaction. Just in case you haven't heard this song before, which I would be very surprised by, but I'm sure there are people who haven't heard it before, or just in case you want to see how I reacted when I first heard it. As always, this is part of our, this is part of our current format experiment, doing a little bit outside filming before I do my trip around Japan, where I'm going to intend to do a lot of hopefully outside reviews while showing you some interesting places very close to where I reside at the current moment, in Nagano. So just wanted to say a big thank you for all of you tolerating any potential technical problems. I know that the reaction that I just did was quite near to the river and I think there was a lot of background sound on that, so apologies, but hopefully you'll be able to take it in. As always, if you don't hear the song properly on the reaction, go check out the original as well, give them some support. Not that they need it, this song has been doing really well, so I'm going to jump into the review now. So if you haven't seen the reaction, like I say, now's the chance, pause this video and check it out. Otherwise, here comes the review. Don't say I didn't warn you. Here it comes. Okay, so first of all, let me give you a little bit of the backstory from my perspective. The first time I ever heard about this song was from a very dear Japanese friend of mine who, she's not the sort of person who's usually into that sort of J-pop stuff, you know, not usually into K-pop especially as well, really not her thing. But she said, you've got to check this out. I was like, this is a really happy, joyful song. And in fact, actually, I once came and we had a little picnic here once before, and she was sitting pretty much exactly here, and a giant spider crawled up and sat on top of her head. So I'm not going to deny I'm slightly freaked out about where I'm sitting. I will get back on subject though. So she was mentioning about this song and I thought, well, this sounds interesting. And she was like, well, it's a Japanese group, but they're signed to a Korean thing and they're basically doing the K-pop thing, but they're Japanese. So I was kind of intrigued. Should we do this for our normal reviews as we review Japanese music, or should we do this as a World Tour Wednesday thing? Are they more Korean? And I was really struggling to think, is this more of a K-pop thing or more of a J-pop thing? I was like, well, they're Japanese, so it's J-pop, but they're signed to a Korean label doing the K-pop sound. You know, is doing a sound, does it make you part of that? I guess they're still Japanese, but the label's Korean. Maybe the people who wrote the song are Korean. It was very difficult for me to tell. And what kind of jogged my decision to do this as part of our normal Japanese music fair was when I went to the convenience store, the Lawson, near to where I live. And just outside for about a week, I wish I'd photographed it. I've still got some of the leaflets they're giving away. Just the whole thing was covered in NIZIU posters. It was like free on the front three windows. There was a big banner across the top where the Lawson sign was. I was like, there is some heavy promotion going on. And then I walked in there and I heard this chorus. Oh, wait, I shouldn't do that. I'm going to get like sued. Copyright infringement. And I just heard this chorus and I was like, oh, that's the song she was talking about. And I kept on hearing this then other places I went, and every time I went into any convenience store that was playing. Even after the promotional stuff came down last week, it was still playing. I was like, okay, this is a big deal here in Japan, whether we consider it to be J-pop or not. Yeah, they're Japanese apparently, and they're clearly getting a lot of attention here, so let's not be biased. Hashtag no bias. Let's jump in and give them the fair dues and treat them as one of the family. So that's where I started this from, and so like I said, I knew the chorus before I went into the reaction. Now, listening to this song, I was intrigued about where it was going to go, and especially with the video as well. A lot of you guys know I've got fairly mixed feelings towards a lot of K-pop. I want to like K-pop as it's doing so well in the Asian scene, you know, spread out to West, but I feel like a lot of it is very westernized. Some of it's very cynical. I really dislike stuff like Blackpink, where I think there's a huge amount of attitude that isn't necessarily backed up by the music. Kind of, I was more, I've enjoyed stuff like Twice, where it's kind of like very melodic a lot of the time. Stuff like Dreamcatcher, where they got that sort of attitude, but the attitude is more backed up by the music than it is in stuff like Blackpink. So I was wondering where this was going to go, and obviously I knew it was a very happy song, and so I was kind of thinking it's going to go in a Twice direction, and that's the direction it went to. I think this is actually the same company, same record company, so same stable, probably produced by a lot of the same people. But it went in that direction, and I think it went in that direction well. It had an immediately infectious sort of vibe in the video, which also carried across in the song. The song started off in a very simple way. It had that, it was more about the beat than anything, very simple production and simple melody. Sort of the same things that you'd do if you were doing kind of like a kid's song, really. Just to make it initially likable, but not in a sort of stripped down, boring, you know, over minimalistic way, just kind of like focusing on the core rudiments and then building up from there. Now, obviously the chorus, we don't need to say much about that. We all know it's incredibly catchy, very simple, works really well. But I was really intrigued about how it strung together as a full song. It's like, is this just a soundbite or is this a full song? And I think it worked. It never really pushed itself to do anything particularly difficult, but it's a single, you know, it's a catchy single. I think it worked in that nice way that everything was kind of just about enough, you know, not overly taxing, easily accessible, you know, sort of song that I think anyone could get into. You could hear it any time and just put a smile on your face, because it's got, well, apart from the happy lyrics, it's got a nice sort of flow to it, a nice melody, it's got a catchy beat that you can bop your head to. It's simple in that way, which is, like I said, accessible. It's simple in that way that it wants to make you happy, wants to be likable. But you know, that kind of to me is something which is often lacking. You don't see that so much in a lot of Western pop music. So that, yeah, I thought that was an appealingly almost Asian twist on these things. Like I say, sometimes K-pop can get slightly too westernized for my liking. And not that, I mean, I'm not trying to sort of sound like I'm against Western music per se. It's just that I think, you know, it's nice when music from a certain part of the world maintains an identity. So in a way, the most Asian thing about this was, apart from obviously the extremely K-pop style video production, was the fact that it just had a sort of sense of joy and a sense of happiness, in the sense that it didn't need to sort of try to be cool. And I think that's a big thing, actually. It didn't feel like it was trying to be cool. It just felt like it was effortlessly kind of cool, effortlessly likable. So yeah, I gotta admit, I came out of this feeling happy, and feeling like it had really achieved what I wanted it to do. It managed to subvert being too simplistic by having nice production elements. I really like the way they flipped it up in the second verse, for example. The bridge, they went for a sort of standard hip-hop break, which they do a lot in K-pop, but again, a bad hip-hop break can really suck. I hate to say it, 'cause I know a lot of people are arguing this. I mean, I am quite a hip-hop fan, or like a lot of hip-hop music. I don't like Blackpink's hip-hop. This is another reason why, you know, I hate to keep on sort of ragging on Blackpink, but I have to use them as a comparison to sort of show what I dislike, so as to kind of more justify why I like this. And obviously there's many different variants on things that you can do different that I like or dislike. But in this case, it's the fact that here, it was a sort of almost swag-free delivery of the hip-hop, which is fair enough, because like I say, you don't expect sort of like world-class, top-of-the-line hip-hop delivery in a pop song, but you still want it to be good. And here it's good, but it's not overly swagging itself. It's just kind of like, they just do it, they deliver it well, they do the dance moves. Each one of them, there was 4 members who did the hip-hop bit, they all added their own style, they all had their own delivery, their own flow to their little bit, which obviously backs up with their voice. So it was just kind of, it was likably done. I liked the way it was put together. It was, I guess you could say it was very knowing. It knew what it was, didn't try to be something it wasn't. I said recently in a review of Wagamama Rakia that their rapper had a lot of attitude, but I felt like she could back it up. And this actually is also true in Dreamcatcher. I wasn't so sure at first, but the more I hear by them, the more I think that I think it's Dami, the girl who does the rap bits for them. She's, over the songs you hear like she's got a little different style. Some are better than others, but she seems to really be able to back it up. So when she puts a lot of attitude into it, it feels like she can pull it off. And I think that is important. Whether you're into hip hop or not, you kind of want the feeling of a song to really work. If something's going to have attitude, you want it to really back it up. If something's going to be sort of direct, simple and catchy, you want it to be fun. And for me, this was that. This was fun. It was likable. It wasn't, like I say, it wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel. It was just trying to be catchy. And they backed that up with just a sort of nice, likable flow. I think I'm kind of going around the same point a few times here, but this is really kind of, this song really made me think a lot about what I do and don't like. You know, there's different things I like and why I like them in this ever-emerging K-pop scene. So, yeah, I gotta admit, I went away from this both happy and looking to hear more. I would like to hear more of them, and I wish them the best, whether they're doing catchy stuff or not. Hello! Oh my god, you scared me to death! Hello! I couldn't tell. That was a nice surprise. Oh, you want more? That's alright. I think you have places to be. You have an appointment.
Come on, baby.
Alright, one more. That was a rather... This is one of the other benefits of doing this outside. So, yeah, anyway, in short, like and subscribe for the dog. Come for the music, stay for the wildlife. And yeah, I just want to say, as always, you know, feel free to comment. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys think, because this, like I say, this is a song that has got so much attention, so much appeal, that I'm really interested to see what people think. Do you think this is special? Do you think this is just another song? Also, while you're appealing on the attitude thing, like I say, this is a kind of a non-musical point in some ways, a very musical point in other ways. I'm really interested to see what other people think. Do other people agree with my kind of assessment about how attitude plays into music and how you have to kind of back it up in certain musical ways? Do you think the world needs more happy music? What are your general thoughts and feelings on all of this? I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys say and think. As always, like I say, like, comment, subscribe. Follow the social medias in the description below. There's lots of links to them. Great place if you want to talk to more people who are into Japanese music and Korean music as well. And yeah, a massive thank you to our Patreon fans as always for keeping this whole thing going so that I could be outside playing with dogs. So, until I hopefully speak to you soon on the next one of these, for now... Oh, I wish that dog would come back. For now, ciao ciao.